So
this is Keith Coogan from Adventures in Babysitting and Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, and you're watching and listening to Awesome 80s Podcast. Rock and roll!
Yes? You must be one of Murray's boys. I thought you might like a nice cup of tea. I do like all my boys to be comfortable.
If you don't mind, we'd just like to let ourselves off.
Nobody gets out of this place without singing the blues.
What?
Nobody leave this place without singing the blues.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Awesome 80s Podcast. This is Michael.
this is Lawrence.
Hi, Glenn. How are you?
Let me tell you something, brother. I'm up in the big heaven in the sky, brother. I'm dropping the bionic elbow on Sweet Sapphire on the mothership TBS. Let me tell you something about my life, brother. I've wined and dined with kings and queens. I've slayed in the alley with pork and beans, baby. But I'm going to tell you what, the Awesome 80s Podcast, this is where I'm at. I happen to die today, but don't mourn for me because I'm upstairs with Sweet Sapphire. I'm the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, brother.
Is he still the son of a plumber?
He's the son of a plumber man. Too sweet to be sour.
Too sweet to be sour. Yes.
So Dusty Rhodes died today, and it made me really sad.
I didn't think. Sorry, Glenn.
He was a huge part of my childhood. You know, I love Dusty Rhodes. I love the NWA. I loved everything about it, and I'm sad that he is no longer in existence. But that's okay because we're here on the Awesome 80s Podcast. And if you're at home right now and you're thinking, should I watch the Awesome 80s Podcast or should I watch Orange is the New Black? Right now.
Right now.
No, because Orange is the New Black right now is on Netflix. They released it 3 hours early.
Release?
I just got a text from our good friend Emily M. telling us that. But you can watch Orange is the New Black tomorrow. It's fine. You can watch it in an hour and a half. But what you can watch right now is the Awesome 80s Podcast. And we have hockey fever, Michael.
It's hockey fever right now. And I think because it's June and it's 90 degrees every day and people still insist on wearing their hockey sweaters, they literally have hockey fever because they're so damn.
They have the hockey fever. Oh, my goodness. My grandma had hockey fever once. It was the worst thing. She would dance on the table, and I don't want to tell you about it, but it was bad. You were there one time. They were like in her stomach.
Real bad.
We're back at Studio MH again. Last 2 weeks, we have not had good luck at Studio MH, and I don't know why. It's as if
where's Mr. MH been?
It's as if someone has cursed us. Like there's a new presence cursing us. I don't know, but MH says it's because he hasn't been here, and he's back tonight. Last week on Live on the Air, he wished your lady baby to have a good day, and she was on the podcast last week, so that was awesome.
Yeah, she just kind of laid there. I don't know how much she can contribute.
You knew that. Yeah, she'll be able to contribute more. I had the privilege of sitting with your parents tonight and hanging out with them for a while. J and P were down.
So my parents definitely want to do Father's Day this Sunday, just because my sister's out of town.
Let's talk about your dad real quick. Here, I'm gonna put the glasses back on.
She wrote BT Dubs.
Are you ready? This is
she wrote.
Yeah, Michael never texts unless he wants something. He never replies. Then your mom's like, he never replies unless he wants something. And if he wants something, he'll text you all the time. And I was like, yeah, we took a shower last night. I got out. I had 12 text messages from him because he wanted something.
You want me to not text you when I want something? I mean, I can't just wish and have things happen, Glenn.
No, I want you to text me, but also maybe check in every now and then. How's your day?
You seem tired. I just want to check in and say, hey, I love you.
There's this thing called Time Hop.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you about what happened like every day in your Facebook each day, like for years past.
Like 3 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, I found out yesterday was the 4-year anniversary of me saving a family from a burning fire. But I'm not a fireman. You are. How many families have you saved from a burning fire?
Thousands. I mean, some people wouldn't really mention. Some people might be a little more humble about helping people.
Well, if I got the key to the city, like you said I should, I would be humble. How many times you open the paper and there's like, this person saved so many lives and they're going to be on the Today Show. I save a family of 3, nothing.
Your treasures are being saved up in heaven, Glenn.
I agree.
Yes.
Thank you, and thank you, Jesus. So how are you tonight? I mean, Blackhawks won last night. Thrilling victory.
Maybe we can talk about them later.
Okay. Do you want to talk about my shirt? It's a Mercy Road shirt.
Did you wear it in front of my dad?
No, I was really sad that I didn't have it on when I saw your dad.
No, it kind of based. Tyler Durden doesn't really exist in Fight Club. It's in his mind. And your T-shirt is based off the theory that all the murders in Murder, She Wrote were actually Angela did them.
Yes, I believe Jessica Fletcher. Killed everyone. Have we done our roll call yet? MH is in the house.
Hello, boys and girls.
MH is now selling tickets to our fans to sit on the couch. I'm guessing $100. I'm guessing.
Well, whatever you can get from it. First,
on StubHub. But so anyway, we have an anonymous fan. Where's MF Jones at?
He texted earlier.
MF Jones is
gaming right now, I think.
Yeah, he's doing nerd shit. That's fine, MF Jones. Every Thursday, nerd shit.
He doesn't say. Does he say anything about your wrestling shit? Like, oh, that's just stupid gay wrestling shit.
I'm really not sure he understands it.
I found a video. I sent it to you and him, and it related kind of wrestling into like what Game of Thrones is. It's a documentary. It's 20 minutes long, done by Ivan Reitman's son. No, not Ivan Reitman's son. Who's the guy who did Twilight Zone? Landis. John Landis' son. Max Landis did it. And I thought that maybe you guys would understand a little more. And neither of you watched it.
Mostly it's the melodrama that really would suck me in. Like, especially like the Piper's Pit. Like, it's when I remember wrestling, I remember it's Piper's Pit because it did a lot more of the backstory and like building up the heat for all the wrestlers in the 80s and early 90s. And it was just
like green duck the road.
Exactly. But I mean, if they didn't, I need those segments to actually care about people wrestling. Like for me, punch and kick wrestling is just as good as long as there's a good story behind it.
So I tried to find a documentary that would make you and MF motherfucker Jones understand, and neither of you guys have watched it, and that was months ago. So I'm done.
It's fine.
At least you went to WrestleMania with me. Are we going to WrestleMania next year?
I tried to talk. I hung out with Art, and I tried to get everything going with his wife. Have his wife talk to my wife.
Whoa. When did you hang out with Art?
Like 3 weeks ago.
I wasn't invited?
Well, obviously you're not that important to my life. I'm sorry, Clint. I think I hung out. That's when we podcast. That's when we did our live tequila sunrise podcast.
We made out that night.
I know, Clint. I'm sorry I didn't bring up Art when we were making out. I'm sorry. I got you drunk enough to let me stick my finger in your butt, but I forgot to mention that I hung out with Art and let him hang out with Lady Baby that day.
That would have been a boner killer. It's fine. All right. So what are we doing tonight?
We're not. We got the fever. We got the hockey fever.
Oh, I'm sweating. I really am. It's hot. Is it hot in here? No, it's because I did all that running. And it's raining outside. It's humid. Oh my god.
It's definitely a dank. It's dank out.
There, buddy?
Not yet.
Some talcum?
Oh, talcum's always good.
It's great for the grass to grow on my wiffle ball field, but we've decided to revisit the Rob Lowe and Patrick Swayze 80s classic Youngblood.
When you say revisit,
try out with
that we have.
I got to play junior if I'm ever going to play pro. All the scouts are going to be there.
Dean Youngblood scored 92 goals this year so far for the Stanton Flyers.
Get him a uniform. The doctor is here.
New uniforms for the playoffs?
Want to go, pretty boy? Come on.
You got to play it according to their rules.
Maybe I made a mistake about you. What do you think?
To the wire.
What?
Hello again, Glenn. You were going to say about the 80s classic Youngbloods?
I've never seen it before.
You've never seen it before?
Never heard of it.
I don't remember it being on HBO tons, but I remember it being like on TBS and TNT a lot.
I don't know how I missed. I quizzed other people. They'd never heard it. Michael, MH?
Yes, sir.
Youngblood, you ever heard of it?
Other than a football player, no.
Okay. Jack Youngblood?
It's got
Joe Youngblood, frequent opponent of Dusty Rhodes. So tell me about this movie, because you texted me the other night. I was hockey drunk, admittedly. And you're like, I want to do this movie.
What fucking movie we gonna review? I want to fucking know.
I'm like, I want to get Wink Martindale. I want to get Raul Julia, even though he's dead. We're gonna be all on the pie, and you're like, we're gonna do a hockey movie.
When are we getting?
That sounds awesome.
That's great, Glenn. When is Shadow Stevens coming? That's what I said.
I'm fucking done with you and Shadow Stevens. Dude, he was on Hollywood Squares as the announcer in the left square, bottom square, and then he was on Dave's World with Harry Anderson. What else did Shadow Stevens do? Wink Martindale
was in the center square.
No, he was not. Joan Rivers was center square.
Center square. Well, of course.
When she was on vacation, Alf. No, Whoopi was years later. We're talking 80s. When she was on vacation, Alf was in center square.
Oh.
Okay.
MH is making noises.
Alf noises.
Alf noises. So Wink Martindale hosted everything. And I have a relationship with Wink Martindale. I've never thought to form a relationship with Shadow Stevens.
Okay. I mean, do you think we can get him on the podcast?
Who, Wink or Shadow?
Wink.
Yes.
You think so?
Yes, I do.
I think it would be a good podcast. I think it would be a great podcast.
Great.
I'm sure he's got a million stories, and I'm sure I was going to say something inappropriate, but I'm sure he's got a lot of great stories.
I'm sure he banged a lot of game show contestants. Is that what you're going to say? He's not Richard Dawson.
Something like that.
Richard Dawson died of AIDS.
Did he really have the AIDS?
I think I made that up. I think
God damn it, Glenn. Allegedly. God damn it.
So, or is it? So, I have three guests. Our next three guests in mind. One of them, hopefully, maybe even next week, will be our good friend Garen. Now, the thing about Garen is he is watching a movie a day every day in 2015. So we're going to go through our Awesome 80s Bible, is what we call it, of the 700 80s movies that we potentially could do.
I mean, we literally have 300 good ones that we've yet to even touch.
And this is episode 200 and what?
Something. I don't know.
6 years.
It's fine. It's fine. We're just talking about 80s stuff. Don't worry about it.
Fine. 80s shit. So, Garen, we're going to pick a movie, not a horror movie, and he's going to be on. Chris Vanderkay, we want to get back soon. He was the best co-host I've ever had on this show.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, I didn't mean, besides, obviously you would miss a podcast because your lady baby was born 2 hours before.
Like, hey, we're going to do a podcast today. No, I'm at the hospital right now, Glenn. All right, I'll podcast with Chris Vanderkay.
I love Chris Vanderkay. Anyway, so this is a movie I'd never heard of. I'd never seen it. You said, let's do it. I said, I'm going to purchase it.
Digitally or at Walmart?
I purchased it.
Oh, he purchased it, exactly.
And I watched it. My wife joined me for about an hour of it, which I was surprised by. She just wanted some cuddle time. I mean, you know what I'm packing, right? So my wife joined me for about an hour. As I was leaving the house, I'll tell you later because it's a spoiler, but she missed the last hour, and then she had an awesome question. I was actually staying up late to watch it because I had to go pick Jake up from Six Flags, or from a trip from Six Flags. So this movie begins with home movies of kids skating on an ice rink.
Yeah, you can see there's one who's very technically proficient, and there's one who likes to stand up for the technically proficient.
In hockey, we're doing a little feedback thing again. You want to take care of that?
I don't know what else I can do, Glenn.
Okay. It's fine. In hockey, we call that a heater.
Yes.
So his brother was a heater, and what a heater is a bully. He's only on the ice to beat up other people. And that's kind of what you have the presumption his brother is, but we'll talk about it. So we have some home movies. We have the kid who's just flying around the ice. And then we get a montage. Not really necessarily a montage. First I wrote montage, but basically it's Rob Lowe looking his sexiest. And Rob Lowe looks sexy.
You would think at that point.
What?
You would think at that point that was his sexiest.
Yeah, I mean, he got sexier when he banged those underage girls and taped it. And then his career got ruined, and he had to do Wayne's World.
But I mean, he got
that's a true story.
Did
you know about that?
As the film went on.
Rob Lowe was the first sex tape. I'm talking to our
Anonymous guest.
Our anonymous guest. MH, when he sells you a ticket, he makes you dinner. So that's awesome. Rob Lowe. You know who Rob Lowe is? He was going to be the biggest star in the world. Sexy, had everything going. Banged underage chicks and videotaped it and got busted. Yeah, late 80s.
He's a guy from
Right. Yeah, the dumb part is Vivid wasn't around. So that kind of derailed his career, and he had to do things like Wayne's World until he got the West Wing. But anyway, we'll talk about it. So he's there, and he's skating, and he's on ice, and he's looking all sexy and sweaty, and there's fog. Where's the fog coming from, Michael?
Well, it's coming right off the ice, Glenn.
Fog doesn't come off the ice.
I don't know. It's definitely, it makes him look the sexiest he possibly has ever.
No, disagree. You look sexy. I mean, I would have banged him
for a young, hairless, smooth boy.
Oh, we'll talk about that too. That comes up later.
Okay.
So anyway, we got the synthesized music. We got Rob Lowe skating on the ice. This is the point where my wife joins. Now I have to overcompensate. You know, I got to kind of have to make fun of what I'm watching.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm really turned on. So I'm like, look at the synthesized music. I mean,
ridiculous. Who would watch this?
Who would watch this piece? What's Michael thinking? You know, 'cause I'm obviously covering. So luckily she didn't see my boner.
That's good.
So quick question. So Rob Lowe, right away, we see the scene. We know Rob Lowe's the sex pot, hot shot hockey player. This movie's made in 1982 instead of, what is it made, 1985?
Yeah.
If this movie's made in 82, who are they casting in the Rob Lowe part? Because there's only one guy on the planet in 82 they would have cast.
Charlie Sheen?
Emilio
Estevez.
Asshole. No, you're wrong too.
Tom Cruise.
Yes, Tom Cruise. This role was picture perfect for 1982 Tom Cruise.
It felt like All the Right Moves. I mean, we haven't even talked about that movie yet, but I think it's kind of like an All the Right Moves, but a hockey version of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So then we find out quickly Rob Lowe's a farm boy. I felt the scene was very a la Secret of My Success.
Okay, yeah, it had a lot of Secret of My Success, but also felt like, have you ever seen Star Wars, Glenn?
No. Well, once, because you made me.
Because they're like, we need you on the farm just 2 or 3 more seasons. You know, the harvest is when we need you the most. And he's like, no, I got to go play junior hockey. This is my one shot. I'm 17 years old. This is my shot, Dad. Otherwise, in a year or two, I'm done.
Wait a minute. Are we talking about the Jar Jar Binks movie?
No, he's not in that.
Oh, okay. So he gets offered a tryout. Dad says no. He needs him on the farm. Brother's like, I'll do it. Dad's like, bullshit, you won't do it. And he goes, God damn it, I don't want to be a farmer my whole life.
Thanks.
It was like cats in the cradle, man. Butter to his poor dad.
I'm sure his dagger's right into the heart, but he has this one-eyed Cyclops brother who also tried to chase his dreams to become a professional hockey player.
Did I know he had one eye?
Well, I think he's got. I think he had contacts in one eye to make it look like he had like a dead eye or something.
Oh, okay. I can see it. I can visualize it. So he talks. The brother you get the feeling the brother tries to talk Dad into it. Dad's not hearing it, but then you get the feeling that that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then the brother drives him to Canada. Canada.
They got no money, but they still have a sweet GPO. When you see the brother, especially later on in the movie, who does the brother remind you of in pop culture? God damn it, Glenn. What are you doing, Glenn?
I don't know.
He had a lot of coiffed
Brad Pitt in 1991.
A lot of coiffed poofy hair. He had a lot of open-chested hair and a nice full, semi-full beard. He reminded me a lot of one of the brothers Gibb. I think he looked. Yes, I think he looked a lot.
Talk show.
I'm sorry. This guy's the sexy one, not Rob Lowe.
No, he was not the sex. Come on.
You could tell they had good genes. You could tell the mom was definitely the pretty one, and she took off.
Did you think it was weird when the brother took off his shirt and he had like an X in hair? Was that weird?
Well, as we know from when, because we've seen Valley Girl, with Nick
Nicolas Cage. Yeah,
Nick Coppola. He was doing a lot of manscaping at that point, and that might also come into the conversation later on here a little bit.
Okay, we'll talk about it. So, what a joy this is, huh?
Just get together on Thursday night. No hockey tonight.
No hockey tonight. I love hockey.
I guess was it 2010? Like both of us were like, I don't know about like hockey.
Well, no, I got into hockey because Jake did not like to play. He was not a baseball kid. Like he tried that, but he was really good at ice skating from the age of like 2 or 3. We started because we got the ice center. And so we started going to hockey games together just to kind of, it was something to do together when he was really young. And so, yeah, I think 2009 was the first time we tried the Hawks. They weren't that good. And in 2010, we both got into it. And then, and then it just went crazy from there. But, I mean, like, hockey's awesome. I don't understand what
I think it's good. I think it's good TV, and especially like it's because like baseball is so much more fun live. And I think and football, it's good. I think it's better on TV than it is.
Oh, it is. I think hockey's the best thing live because it's so fast.
But I think it's just as fun on TV as it is at the stadium, I think.
So they get to Canada, and you get the feeling that his brother's been there before.
Don't take any shit from these fucking Canucks. They're going to come and catch you. I can't protect you anymore. They're going to beat the fuck out of you, Rob Lowe. No, I'm too quick. You're not too quick.
There's just too much light.
So, yeah, the brother, he's just kind of going through things. He drops him off, though. He says, don't take any shit from them Canucks. You're just another wetback trying to play their game.
Also, he goes to a tryout, and they also make additional Mexican jokes at the tryout. The coach and the other coach do.
Yeah, very anti-Mexican Canadian. Yes. Why?
I don't understand.
I don't understand either. So the first thing they show in the tryout is they show the heater. Like we said, a heater is a guy in hockey who just beats everyone up.
Or the goon.
The goon. Oh, great hockey movie, actually.
Yes.
MH does this on Netflix.
Available at the Netflix.
Our sponsor, right? Do they sponsor us yet?
Soon.
Big Bad Toy Store.
Art's on top of that.
Hey, did that lady ever send us money?
No, not yet.
All right, keep talking.
It's all right. I mean, if people want to just give us money, our PayPal is available at our website.
Speaking of which, we'd like to thank our friend Doiner because he just made his monthly contribution. We appreciate that.
You got his monthly.
We do this live. We do this with cameras. We do this with audio. We know that we have tens of logistically, we have hundreds of listeners. We see how many people listen each week. We've been doing this 6 years, so give us money. Or buy one of our awesome T-shirts that neither of us are wearing.
Right here.
Oh, and Mitch is wearing his. My wife was on stage tonight. She wore hers on stage.
Oh, good.
I'm wearing a zombie Jessica Fletcher T-shirt. Whatever. Fuck you.
That is awesome. It doesn't say. That is awesome.
It says murder she committed because this supports the fact that she's a murderer.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so the heater, he's out there. He's beating people up. Swayze, very hot Patrick Swayze. Not the pedophile Patrick Swayze from Donnie Darko, but the Dirty Dancing-esque. This was after Dirty Dancing, right? How'd they get Swayze?
Oh, this is before Dirty Dancing, I think.
So this is after The Outsider. So him and Lowe had worked together.
Because they were already brothers before, so no big deal.
Right.
So, little Curtis.
I mean, at least probably Eskimo brothers. They were in this movie. So Youngblood, Rob Lowe is fast, man. He gets out there and he fucking scores. Michael J. Fox is that shit. No, Michael J. Fox is from Canada and he used to play hockey. I mean, come on.
You're Canadian. You're going to play hockey. That's what you do.
Jesus. So Youngblood scores, and then the heater gets pissed and he punches him out. Then we get a locker room scene where a bunch of hockey players are shirtless and weightlifting.
They're just working out. They're in their hockey pants doing work. And then Patrick Swayze's just going to town.
Yeah, Patrick Swayze is going to town.
Those weights letting him know
The guy with the fro.
Yes.
It wasn't a Hugh fro, but it was a fro.
It was definitely a fro.
Yeah. So the coach comes in. Rob Lowe gets his eyes sewn up by a guy who only does was that macrame?
Yes, needlepoint. It's
Needlepoint.
Yeah.
So their team doctor can't sew, so they have a needlepoint guy who does it, and he also makes nice little sayings for the locker room.
Well, I mean, and he has stuff up at the boarding house as well.
Oh, he does. He's a cross stitcher.
Totally different. Needlepoint's different than cross stitchers. Macrame, cross stitch, needlepoint. They're three separate things.
So the heater.
Neither guy spent any time at Joann's Fabrics. Go ahead.
Or Michael's. So the heater gets cut.
He's pissed. He's throwing shit all over the place. Naked Rob Lowe, he's ready to beat some ass. But is he really ready to beat some ass?
Were you surprised how naked Rob Lowe was?
Like naked. But
yeah,
I mean,
surprised.
He's just trying to market himself in an 80s world, okay, Glenn? This is what ladies of the 80s want. They want naked Rob Lowe, and he was willing to give it to him.
Do you think he's Stallone, Tango, and Cash stunt butted, or was that his real ass?
Maybe later in the movie, not his real ass.
No, I think it was all his real ass.
I mean, I've been really looking at Rob Lowe's ass, and that's the entire movie, entirely his ass. It's an ass.
The heater. So Rob Lowe, he runs after him. He's naked. He sees a fine-looking lady looking right at his ass. She was very pervy.
Is this a new uniform for the playoffs? She started out as a stick girl. She ends up being the coach's daughter. Whoa! I'm sorry. One thing at a time. But yeah, she's excited. You can tell she's excited.
How
you could tell. Well, the lips get red and the eyes get watery. You could tell.
Oh. What about her nipples?
I couldn't see her nipples. I was really looking.
You were really looking. Or 80s actresses' nipples.
So Rob Lowe's made the commitment to this, the Stallions here north of the border. And so he's going to have to find a place to live. And he finds a boarding house with Miss McGill.
So you have the idea that Miss McGill gets sent to all of the young boys.
Hey, Coach, I'm going to need more young boys. Can you send me?
Is she the poor woman's Annie Potts?
Well, I was thinking she's like Annie Savoy from Susan Sarandon in Bull Durham.
But this is before Bull Durham.
Yeah, I know. So maybe she is Annie Potts. Maybe she's a lot like Annie Potts.
So this is what I like about this movie. You have the pervy boarding house lady.
She's been boarding these boys for over 10 years.
Yeah, and she's walking up, and she's obviously checking out Rob Lowe. Normal 80s movie, there's just innuendo implied, but nothing happens. 3 seconds later, he's banging this chick.
It's full-on banging. I mean, you're going to see Rob Lowe's full-on ass, so why can't you see full-on banging? And you see nipples later. She's a real big fan of Fred Hammer Murphy. It's just one of her boys. 6'3", 200.
Yeah, okay. So here's the thing. This is what I like. Normally, these type of movies, things are implied, like she bangs all the boys. But normally in this movie, like movies like this in the 80s, they don't ever like imply that she banged like the hero, right? Yeah. Like he's above it. Rob Lowe in this movie is not above banging the Annie Potts lady. He bangs her.
Like, I mean, because in other movies, he definitely would be above it. I mean, she's just trying to make them ready for the show, Glenn. You're just doing what you can.
So, by the way, if you're watching this show, we're doing a little throwback to video games.
Okay.
I look like, I mean, this is intentional. I look like the new HD PlayStation 10 version.
Yes.
You look like you're the Atari, and we did that on purpose.
That's how we're doing things.
Right. Because we're trying to, this is a statement in like, you're in Galesburg, which is home of the meth.
MMA.
So
MMA.
Yeah, you're clouded by the meth.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm in prosperous Bloomington, where everything is great and naughty coke.
Yes.
Inmates provide a huge pile of coke for our fan over here. So That's happening.
Everyone get use something to get high, Glenn.
So Youngblood makes the team. Rob Lowe chases after the guys. And
you get to see.
Hey, they're gonna. Oh, we missed this part. This is before he banged the chick.
Yeah.
It's time for some hazing, right? This is what's wrong with today. You can't just strap a guy down and shave his nuts because he made the team. Not in this PC bullshit country.
I don't know if it's a hockey thing, but I guess Gordie Howe's kids, when they first made it onto the Houston Aeros, like it's like an urban legend that when they made it onto their team, the veterans strapped them down and shaved their nuts as well.
That's a thing?
I guess that's a hockey thing, I guess.
So they can have beards, but they have to
down there. Smooth.
Listen, it's well documented on this program over the last 6 years. I'm all for the manscaping. I mean, hardwood floor is where it's at. But where it's not at is Patrick Swayze shaving your nuts. I mean, unless you're into that sort of thing.
Wearing a jock as a mask. Some people
he had a jock strap as a mask.
Some people I know, I didn't want to mention you, Glenn. They'd like to keep it smooth down there. It's their own way. But I mean, it's there. I mean, people like it. Sometimes it gets itchy. I mean, you try it once and it's super itchy.
Listen, I've known you for
a while.
18.
Okay, 18 years.
I do my own thing.
Both of us have our own drummer, and sometimes they cross streams, and sometimes they don't.
Sometimes in MH's bathroom.
Well, we made direct eye contact. I'm like, we're going to do this. We're going to make direct eye contact, and it worked out okay.
Was that during the drunk Christmas party?
Yes, I was way drunk.
Well, we were throwing a Christmas party for our employees.
Merry Christmas!
What people don't realize is when they watch this show is we employ tens of 20s of people to put this on.
It's not just
we don't have yet
in the background.
There's another podcast from the area that we're from, and I happen to know one of my former employees. I found out recently is on it, so I was like, "Oh, listen to it." She's an unpaid intern. You've been promising us an unpaid intern for a year and a half.
I don't live in the same town as best friends. I mean, we've got friends that are mass communications teachers.
Oh, have you ever heard of Facebook?
But I'm busy, all right? I do things. I'm outside working on planting my ivy.
Yeah, you have a job where you work one out of every 4 days.
I got to watch the baby all day. We got to feed the baby. We're changing diapers.
Wear a condom.
Where are your priorities at?
I love your lady, baby.
Let's go through. I mean, the next scene is when they're at the bar and they're getting super drunk. We've got we've really got like 5 or 6 main characters. We got Rob Lowe, who's Mr. Dean Youngblood, the left wing on the team for the most part. Patrick Swayze, Derek Sutton. He's the center, and of course, he's kind of like the center of attention as well. Jesse Chadwick, she plays Cynthia Gibb. She's famous for being in Short Circuit 2. I was like, what the fuck has this girl been in? She was in Short.
Wait a minute, what?
The Jesse Chadwick, the main love interest. She was the girl in Short Circuit 2.
That was Ali Sheedy. No, it wasn't. You're right. Oh, fuck.
I was like, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, my life has just been turned upside down.
There's the
This is how I became the prince of
I was about to do the same thing.
Ed Lautner plays the coach. And he looks like Coach, like the actual coach from Coach. But
he looks like, obviously, Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah.
Was on by him.
But he was in The Longest Yard. He was in Real Genius. He played the asshole in Real Genius, and he also played the asshole.
The original Longest Yard.
Yeah.
And he wasn't, what asshole in, Real Genius. Yes, I'm sorry. I went to Weird Science.
And then in Revenge of the Nerds 2, he also played the asshole as well.
So he's a good asshole, but not in this movie.
And there's 3 other players on the team. There's the Huey Hewitt. He's kind of like the alternate. He's the muscle on the team. He'll go up to somebody and just bang the hell out of him.
He's a heater.
Yeah. And there's Racky. He kind of looks like Stephen Perry a little bit. This is the guy you're talking about with the kind of fro situation.
Yeah.
He kind of dresses like he's in 1982 Van Halen. Like he's got like a mesh shirt. And he's got like a animal printed stretchy pants. You're like, this guy's not a hockey player. This guy's in a metal band, hair metal band.
This is why this movie isn't realistic. We always say suspend your disbelief, right?
Yes.
The reason why this movie isn't realistic is it's a known fact, confirmed on How I Met Your Mother. Canada is 10 years behind the United States. So if this is realistic, these guys would be in bell bottoms.
The mall today.
Sometimes you're like so clear, and sometimes you're just foggy.
That's just, I mean, the internet is where the internets are, Klein. There's Heaver, played by Keanu Ted Theodore Logan Reeves. And him and Huey Hewitt got to view the live sexual act earlier in the movie.
So, is this Keanu's first movie?
I don't know if it's his first movie, but this is the one I definitely remember him from.
Did you do any research?
Did you do any research?
No, I have a research assistant. Oh, he's busy.
Once we get our unpaid intern, God damn it. Maybe we need to get
the kids.
How many interns can we have? Do you have space at your house? I mean, I know you have your basement.
Give me 3 months.
I need you to move your VHS tapes around, and your He-Man action figures around to make some living quarters for.
Give me 3 months, and I'm buying a hotel. I mean, like a motel, an old motel.
We're doing that,
and that's where I'm gonna live, and that's what's gonna happen. Hey, could you keep it down over there?
We're doing a podcast. It's an audio system. I don't know if are they familiar with that? It sounds like they're chopping up ice. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, no, there's no ice in this place. Let me tell you firsthand knowledge. This is the warmest beverage I've ever had.
Man, you'd think you'd be a little more hospitable. I mean, you did watch his flying squirrels or whatever.
Oh, my God, that's what the fuck I said. I walked in and said, I took care of these things like they were my children.
The sugar gliders. So they seem like a lot of fun. I got to visit with them when we did our Tequila Sunrise episode.
I did a zip line across the apartment, and I charged people $5 a kid. But then I did a day pass, so I got them hooked at $5. Day pass for $12.
It's all about buying in bulk and getting that scam.
Do you know what Airbnb is?
What is this?
Airbnb, where it's like Uber but for apartments.
Oh.
So I rented his apartment out to a couple hippies who were just here for the week, but they left their stash under the bed, and I haven't been able to retrieve it yet.
So at the bar, he's a member of the new team, so they get him super drunk. They keep buying him tequila.
Yeah, so they're buying tequila shots, and they're doing the old Caddyshack thing. He downs it, and they're pouring over the shoulder.
Yep.
They pick up Patrick Swayze picks up a couple ladies.
He likes the one with the mustache.
And he has his hockey buddy take out his dentures, put it in her Bloody Mary. She drinks it, and everyone loves it, including the ladies. That's why hockey players in Canada are gods.
That's pretty gross. But I'll get you another Bloody Mary. No big deal. 2 more.
They're trained. These women are trained. They see a hockey player. Things happen down below.
That's what I talked about. You could tell, Ben. You could tell. So
they get Youngblood hammered.
Yeah.
Super hammered. They're not hammered because they've been faking drinking the shots. And then they go to practice.
And somehow Youngblood got horse shit in one day.
Talk about practice?
He's some kind of horse shit.
You're going to talk about practice.
In one day, he's horse shit. He's way hungover. I think maybe they could have mixed in him throwing up to make. I don't know. Something to put.
This movie ended up being pretty fucking long. I mean, I thought it was going to end like 20 minutes before it did. Are you wearing safety ear goggles? Like, you look like you're in a plant right now.
Should I wear them? No.
A boo woo woo woo. I did karaoke over the weekend for the first time. I did Digital Underground.
First time?
I know, basically, I know Humpty Dance like by heart. But I was he's fast. He's quick.
I've heard that semi-autobiographical or biographical. He once got busy in a Burger King bathroom.
Okay, A, you're an asshole. B, when I do that song, I change it to where I'm at. So this weekend, I once got busy in a bonkers bathroom. But then me, motherfucker Jones, and a friend of ours, we did Fuck Her Gently. And I sang it directly. I serenaded the woman from Something About Mary, you know, the tanned one. she gave me her number. I'm just saying.
It's you can't control how these ladies feel, Glenn. All right, but you can control how you feel. That's all. That's it. That's all you can do.
Yeah,
it's a curse. It's a curse. So after the shitty practice, he goes out and just walks around and feels shitty, and then he runs into. You got to go watch.
The coach balls him out. The coach is like, "Why are you here? You're not the same guy. You should get the fuck out of here." Basically,
he's got to go watch the Slumber Party Massacre. That's where you're gonna find a teenage girl who wants to have sex with you. Is go to Slumber Party Massacre.
We all know I'm not a horror movie guy.
Yeah.
But is your dream horror movie girl? Like, is your dream? I mean, pretend your wife doesn't listen, because she doesn't. If you were a teenager and you ran into a girl outside the Slumber Party Massacre, that's it for you, right?
I don't know. Is she clean? Would you say she's clean?
Yeah, she look clean.
No, I'm thinking. I guess if it was like in high school, I'd what 80s revival. That's what I'd want. Like, are you watching?
95 hasn't gotten a hold of her yet.
Well, I mean, we've got that theater there in the town of Normal, and if they were playing, you know, Raiders of the Lost Ark. They were playing Johnny Five. They were playing Blues Brothers. Like that's where I would.
Playing Goonies, too. Don't think I'm not working on it.
Playing Goonies, yeah.
So
that's what I'd be looking for.
Okay. So he starts talking to the lady. He already knows she likes his ass. Well, he doesn't, but we do because we've been watching the movie. They talk. They go into a convenience store. Apparently, CVS in Canada has everything from a book about orgies to a book to Moby Dick right next to each other.
Herman Melville's The Moby Dick.
So she's like, I like my hockey players educated. I'm going to buy you Moby Dick. And then what does he do? He tucks in the orgy book inside his pocket.
Here you go. This is $1.50, but I'm going to give you $5. Here you go.
So they walk out. He real quickly finds out, what is she? Coach's daughter. Who knew? Who knew? The forbidden fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And then the coach sees him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, we're just reading. And what does he do? He pulls out the book about orgies. Coach does not like this, but he lets it go. They make some decisions in life.
You can tell they've had conversations, him and his daughter, about giving her some space. Like she's her own person. You know, obviously she's going to be in the world someday.
Yeah. So they talk. She's basically like, I can't see you. It can't happen. She does tell them that she does like to ride the Zamboni, though.
That's not a euphemism. It's really the Zamboni. So you get to the feeling he took his book back to his room. He JO'd, and then he got ready for work day at the ice cream.
Oh, no. I think he banged Annie Potts.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he had tea time.
J.O., his house mother's banging him.
But he's really into that book because she comes into his room later on, and he's literally 3/4 of the way through that book.
There's no pictures.
There's no big. It's not. The mind is the biggest sexual organ, Glenn.
I agree. I don't want to discuss this.
Okay, keep going.
So they're doing the Moby Dick thing. Apparently, I wrote Nobly Dick. That's fine. She's like, I can't see you. And then we go to the game. Like we fast forward to their first game with him.
He's starting. He's ready to go.
He's starting. And you know what? Him and Sutton, Patrick Swayze, there's this rough Kane and Taze tension.
Yeah.
But then he scores. And they're friends.
So would you say Patrick Swayze is more Taze?
Absolutely. I mean, not to get black hockey.
Okay.
But Kane is a party guy. He's been arrested several times in the first few years. But Taze,
never convicted of anything.
Well, he beat up a fucking cab driver in Buffalo and he got off. Right? But Taze is like scary. Like Taze scares the shit out of me, and I don't play hockey.
He's got that crazy look in his eye, which is you want that for playoff hockey, you know.
So eventually, Kaner's like, I'm gonna grow a mullet, ginger mullet. I'm gonna vanilla ice the sides of it, and I'm not gonna go out and drink all the time. And now they're best friends, just Sutton and Youngblood.
Yep.
But right after, let's say La Femme, she's listening in class. She's listening to the hockey game. And right after he scores, she jumps up and screams, even though she told him she doesn't like hockey. And then they're friends, and then he gets benched. The coach benches him. Why does the coach bench him?
His perception is that he thinks that he's already been banging his daughter.
Let me tell you a little quick story.
Okay.
I used to work at a place called the Luca Grill. Remember that? We were friends.
Mm-hmm.
I worked there in high school. It was my first job, and I met a guy, Matt E. We all know. And while meeting Matt E., so I'd get off of work, at 10 o'clock in high school. I wasn't a drinker, but I would sit there at the bar with these guys till 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, watch them drink. Maybe other things happen. I don't know. But the owner, and I started hanging out. You remember the Dot? Remember Dot? We did the poker games?
Yes.
I started hanging out with the owner of Luca's daughter. We were just friends. I mean, did I have a major crush on her? Yeah, but she was older. She would let me borrow her dog and take it on the quad to get girls' phone numbers, which was super easy, even as like a really skinny, nerdy-looking guy that I used to be. But the owner thought I was begging her, so he would make me go out and clean the alley with the broken glass and the cracked needles. And
oh man, that as far as alleys go, that is a gross ass alley.
Oh, that is the worst alley. In fact, it's boarded up now. Like you can't even get back there anymore. But at the time, I would go out and have to clean it every shift. And you'd think, oh, I just cleaned it last night. There's nothing. No, there's cracked needles. But he would make me clean it because he thought I was banging his daughter, which I was not.
When people do crack, Glenn, when people do crack, they usually shoot it, I think, with needles.
Crack is whack. I mean,
I know Whitney Houston. Crack is whack.
I part a guy named Bobby Brown today. Here's the problem. I part a guy at work named Bobby Brown, and all I could think of was the dog, the bounty hunter guy. I didn't even think of the actual My Prerogative guy, and that made me realize I am a fucked up human being. Back to the movie. So he gets benched. He doesn't know why. He's pissed. Patrick Swayze, Sutton, he gives him his hockey puck. He throws it in the garbage.
Fuck that. I don't need this first goal hockey puck.
And he consulted. He goes, why'd I get benched? Everyone's like, well, he thinks you're banging his daughter. So she's on the Zamboni. She's got her headphones on.
Not a euphemism. She's definitely
not a euphemism. He's actually on
the Zamboni.
He fakes like she runs him over. And he's like, hey, your dad thinks I'm banging you, so I might as well bang you. And she's like, that sound logic. So she bangs him.
Rob Lowe, with that ass of yours, you make tons of sense.
And what happens as he's banging her?
You get a lot of close-ups of his sweaty ass. Also, when they do the they do like a little date earlier where they do and skate around the ice rink and they pretend like they don't know how to skate very well. The referee, he's the janitor, or I guess I don't know. He's definitely the guy that keeps up stuff at the airport in Die Hard 2.
But
he's
not at Yakimomi Plaza.
Not Nakatomi Plaza. Available giant box set. Thank you, Lewis.
So, they bang. Then they go on an ice skating date. Very romantic.
He's hairless, smooth.
They get in trouble. They hide in the basement. They see her dad singing. He's a crooner.
Yeah. And then you also you can see she has this love for New York City. You see she has these pictures of New York, these calendars from New York.
Because that's where her dad was famous. That's where he played for we assume the Rangers, not the Islanders. Who the fuck was famous playing for the Islanders?
And she gets she's got pictures like little shrine up to her father who played for the Islanders. And you could tell he was a fighter.
Did you say who walked in on them?
Who walked in on them?
The house mom. They were banging and the house mom walked in.
They had like while they were doing different acts, she was also doing separate acts, like preparing the lemon, taking the tea and dipping it into the.
Oh, I thought you meant clicking the mouse.
Yeah. I mean, we just go to the bathroom and flick the bean. Just flip through the LL Bean catalog. Just lick your fingers and flip the bean. But she was going through the like they'd have like different like intercuts, like different. They just juxtapose like him entering her to her entering the tea into the actual tea, actually into the water, the hot water prepared.
Cleverly edited.
Yes, cleverly edited. She's got the liquid, the sweat, the dripping, like the lemon dripping all over her hand, and then all of a sudden you get this close up of Rob Lowe's sweaty back and the sweaty breasts of the coach's daughter.
Real quick shout out to our friend Mark P.
Oh, thanks, Mark.
We're going to discuss some things about him shortly.
Oh, sure.
All right, we're gonna do that in the wrap up.
Okay.
So he's ready to do some. We get past that. We gotta go to the playoffs. Now, I said earlier in the playoffs, or when he first got there, that we're going to see that heater again.
Yeah.
It's like Major League. The bad guy you're going to see the first game, but then you're going to see him in the last game.
Yeah. And he's going to be gross and have weird facial hair and have crazy eyes. He's going to be that guy.
So we see the heater again. And the heater is he's not a nice guy.
No.
And so what does he do? Who does he attack? Does he go after Youngblood? No, because he can't catch him. So who does the mean hockey player go after?
Patrick Swayze.
What? You can't go after Patrick Swayze.
And then Huey Hewitt, he goes over and bashes the hell out of him with a stick. He gets a 5-minute major, and then he gets like a 10-minute, and then eventually he shoots the puck at the referee, and then he gets kicked out of the game.
So I watched a video the other day. I'm a big fan of Deadspin.com. It's a sports website, but it doesn't have the normal sports story.
They kind of gossip a little.
Yeah. So there was a female high school softball player. She was a catcher, and right after a woman scored, a girl against her, she gave her a quick shiv elbow right to the back of the head and knocked her out. The other team, trying to be the higher team, didn't respond.
Mm-hmm.
So then the next time a run scored, she did it again. And the umpire is in full view of the video, never called anything. I don't think I could have contained myself. If that was my daughter, I would have beat up a woman catcher, a high school woman catcher. And mate, your thoughts? Are you wearing swim trunks?
No blood, no foul.
All right, I don't trust your opinion.
No, I'm not actually.
He wouldn't even. He was the kind of person that would never even go to Iowa. Sure. Why would I go to Iowa?
I'm in camera. I just want to touch him.
That's okay.
Little dick. So, Swayze's in the hospital. He's got a brain damage.
He's got the brain damage.
It's not good.
I think he's concussed. He doesn't remember.
I think he's more than concussed. Like he had brain damage.
Yeah.
Bleeding on the ice. And what does Rob Lowe decide?
I'm going to get that guy.
No.
Well, he decides I'm a pussy. I'm going to let him think that I'm going to get that guy.
I'm going back to the farm.
Well, he does. He said, he doesn't decide to go back into the farm until the coach is like, you guys need to practice again. It's like, practice? Fuck that shit. I'm leaving.
Practice?
I'm going to go back to the farm. I'm the fastest, best shooter on this team. I'm not going to
practice.
So he goes back home to shovel shit with his dad.
She doesn't know about practice.
And his one-eyed Cyclops brother.
I don't understand why you think he's a Cyclops.
Oh, also, I don't want to bring up Slapshot. It's a great movie. But in Slapshot, they also do the jousting in that as well, where they cross their sticks and they get the,
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
And they go for each other's eyes and stuff. And there's like a legend of people poking each other's eyes out. And they start this movie with the brother with the one eye. Where he's like, obvious. And then the goon, the heater in this movie, that's what he does. He gets his stick and he tries to go for people's eyes. So I think it's just this overall motif, the eyes is the soul. But he's obviously a shitty worker on the farm. He can't shovel the shit as fast as his brother. He can't get the tractor out of the mud. He can't move the hay as fast as everybody else. He doesn't know how to put up barbed wire. He just sucks as a farmer. He drops the hammer off the roof.
So this is where we end the second act, and we have a quick advertising break. Hello, people. Are you looking to have your picture taken? Are you looking to get married? Well, if you go on to www.panagraph.com, there is a section where you can vote for your favorite person to take your picture. I recommend you choose Studio Barbie. And if you're looking for your favorite reception area, choose Ewing Manor, because those are the places that I like to get my picture taken, and I like to get married if I'm getting married the second time. Anyway, please do that. Those, Ewing Manor, Studio Barbie, they're friends of ours. They're friends of the program. They pay huge amounts of money for us to talk about them. On to the third act.
I like to say friends of the program. At this point, the brothers.
You mean like Pilgrim?
Program. At this point, him and his brother have a fight because he's pretty much a pussy. Because Rob Lowe's like, I'm kind of a pussy. He's like, yeah, I didn't think you're this big of a pussy, but you're a pussy. And so they decide to do a montage of him learning how to fight and working out in very much like Rocky IV in the barn.
Is it as good as Rocky IV?
Well, he kind of goes low.
It is not as good as Rocky IV.
But he goes low tech like in Rocky IV. Like he's got concrete coffee cans full, and he's like doing curls with them, and he's doing like a wrist exercise with just concrete. And he's doing the old time punchy bag. He's got the medicine bag. Like he's going old school. He's learning how to fight and beat the shit out of people. But it's pretty easy when you just do it it's pretty easy when you just beat the shit out of a punching bag. But can you do it to a real person?
That's a good question. Also, a question I struggle with every day is, if I want to have my home built, who's going to build it? And if I'm in the greater Bloomington, Illinois area, I'm going to choose 3D Custom Homes because they are the best home builder. You can also vote for them on thepanagraph.com.
What if we just pick a business and just pretend like they're our sponsor? Eventually, they'll be our sponsor. I mean, you got to visualize it too.
Didn't we try that with Netflix for 3 years? We're 6+ years into this, and for 3 of those years, you know what happened with Netflix was Art scammed them. Your buddy Art got us kicked off the Googles.
What about Doritos? Did Doritos just drop off the face of the earth?
I was not.
We might have been drinking. We weren't in a good place at that point.
We're sober now, and these things are different.
What about European casinos? I hear they're big.
Well, yes, they're.
I'm really
for European casinos or the company of Oracle, who randomly give us lots of money out of nowhere. We would not still be in business.
Thanks to them and Doiner, we have these HD cameras with bad internet connection.
Well, I have great internet connection because I live in a place that doesn't have meth as the prevalent
drug of choice.
We'll get back to the movie in just a second.
Okay.
But let's take a trip down memory lane. So who have we had? We had Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah. The Oracle.
What happened to them? Have you reached out to them? I mean, they gave us like a one-time payment.
Yeah, I mean, I think we advertised enough. I told them I'd advertise more, but that was like 3 years ago. So that was like
right. Did you ever thought about getting more money from them?
But then I'd have to say I'm lying. I want more money now.
What do you mean? That was fucking 3 years ago.
All right, fine. I'll ask him for more money, but I don't think we can get more than $25.
And I don't know where motherfucker Jones is with this Patreon account, but people should be paying us for that too.
Hopefully we will have a Patreon. I mean, and we could just push it. And if people want to give us money, then give us money. I mean, if you could do like as little as $1 a month or whatever, that'd be fantastic. I mean, anything would help us. I mean, we want to go to.
If everyone listens to this show,
Glenn, we didn't go to the Goonies 30th anniversary. We would love to go to that, but if we got money from our fans, I'm sure we could have made it happen. It costs money to do things like that. We're in the middle of Illinois. We'd like to go to Oregon. Grandpa says Oregon, which I feel is inappropriate.
If everyone who listens to this show on a regular basis gave us $1 a month, I'd be wearing diamonds. I mean, I see the numbers, people. I see them.
You had this very Macklemore men's jacket that was, I don't know if it's real fur or faux fur, but you can get another real fur one. Hopefully, if this Patreon thing really does take off, you can get another men's fur coat.
I will punch you in the face if you ever call me Macklemore again.
I'm just saying, it looked like it smelled like pee, but you did look good in it, though.
First of all, you've been around that coat for years.
It doesn't have a good odor. All I'm saying is it did not have a good odor.
You threw me through a table wearing that coat. What do you expect it to smell like?
I'm just saying, if we had the Patreon thing take off, You could get a brand new coat that doesn't smell like pee.
I hate you.
I love you so
You
much.
know,
I love you so much.
it takes everything I have not to drop this iPad and walk away.
Mic drop.
No, iPad drop.
Okay.
Different.
They're totally different.
Hey, you know who we talked about last week and who hasn't sent us any fan mail this week?
Who's this?
Jamie.
Oh, yes. Oh, well, maybe he's sick of listening. Maybe.
MH, you were gone last week. Have you caught up? Oh, so you're aware. If you're gonna troll us, we want you to troll us hard.
Glenn,
make fun of my weight. I don't know.
Definitely a bottom and a power bottom. He wants you to troll him hard.
Well, that's a thing.
Is that a Galesburg term?
No, it's not. I mean, do we need to talk about Jamie every week? I mean, maybe he'll be a bigger fan if we just keep talking about him.
How could he be a bigger fan?
I don't know.
All right, on to the third act.
He's our biggest fan. Montage. Ready for third act.
Montage. Oh, hey, this is where I told you to edit them.
Time for a montage. Montage. Time for a montage.
I asked you to do one damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
I said, put together a montage.
I had some other sounders. That's all I had. I'm sorry, Glenn. I mean, I will talk about it off air. Maybe another pre-show meeting. We can get this out of the way. I'm sorry.
I can't be more upset right now. If I tried, I couldn't be more upset with you.
I'm not upset with you, Glenn. I can never be upset with you.
Right, because I do what I'm supposed to do. You are a loser.
I'm doing what I got to do to make this podcast get off the air. Once we get Patreon, we can buy our tickets to Goonies 2030, and then we could make sure we get our fur coats for Glenn that don't smell like pee.
This is why God gave you red hair.
Why are you saying stuff like that? Why would you? Okay.
By the way, if you gotta get your home built once again in Bloomington Normal, 3 home builders is your way to go. You want a picture taken, Studio Barbie. And if you want to get married, where I got married, Ewing Manor, that's the place to go. Vote for them on panagraph.com for your best in the local area. By the way, Cubs win.
Third act. Did they win?
Won. Like just now.
It's like 5-3. Okay. 6.
That's not the score at all.
I got 6-3.
Yeah, 6-3. 5-3. I mean, do you know what numbers look like?
Have you gone through first grade? Are you Canadian? I'm sorry.
All right, third act. Go.
So much like Roy Hobbs coming out of the hospital, save his team. We've got Rob Lowe to come save his team from annihilation in the playoffs, so they can get their Juniors Cup. And
much like when I didn't have anyone to take my picture, Studio Barbie did it.
Shut up, stop talking. No one's going to give us money. And if they do, make sure they've got our PayPal account.
And then when I wanted my picture in front of my new home, 3D home builders.
Okay.
They came through.
They're just horrible heater. He comes out. He's a dick to everybody, but still his power isn't great enough. They're over to overpower him. Huey Hewitt, he can't play. He decides he gets banned for the rest of the playoffs because he attacked the big bad. And Patrick Swayze, he's like, you know what? We're done. We can't do this anymore. We're done. I can't. I don't watch hockey from the stands. I just play it. And I'm not going to watch hockey in the stands. And you don't see them anymore after the beginning of the hockey.
In what world are we going to penalize Hewitt and not Patrick Swayze? Or not the Heater, I'm sorry.
It's a movie from the 80s. You got to have a bad guy. Otherwise, there's not a big showdown between him and Rob Lowe.
Got it. This is my first ever 80s movie.
Also, the sound, especially during the montage, it's like lots of synthesizers. Other times, like when they're hockey, like especially in the beginning when he's doing the personal training, when he's out on the ice with just by himself hanging out. He's just lots of synthesizer, lots of great 80s music there.
So, Youngblood, the series is tied. Youngblood, he's coming back. He's going to finish this third act, and he's coming strong. And when he comes strong, who's there? He walks into the locker room. Who's there?
That's where Patrick Swayze and Hewitt are.
So he talks to Patrick Swayze. He's like, I'm doing this. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing this
coach
for Keanu Reeves.
He gives his coach the crazy look. He's like, "What are you doing coming in here?" He's like, "If I can get past you, past this doorway, I'm gonna be out on the ice." And he's got the crazy look in his eyes. So he's like, "All right." He's got the eye of the Apollo Creed tiger.
Apollo Creed died.
I know he died, but he still had the eye. Jesus, Clint. Why do you have to bring it up? Hey, remember, Apollo Creed died. Remember, Mr. T's the bad guy. Jesus.
Different movie.
Different.
So Youngblood hits the ice. He scores right away. It's awesome.
Best hockey player ever.
He's the best ever. Ever. What does the heater do? What does the big bad do?
He goes and mashes other people. He's like, I'm going to hit some more motherfucking people.
Hits the illegal hit. Youngblood's taken to the locker room. He gets killed. He comes back out. Still gets beat up. And what does Rob Lowe do? Without a shirt on. Well, I'm sorry. In the movie, he had a shirt on. In my mind, he did not. But what does he do?
In my mind, while watching the film, he's always totally naked with smooth, hairless skin.
He ties it. Rob Lowe ties it.
He's that good.
It's a tie game.
It's a tie game, and eventually there's another fight between him and the big bad. Oh, is it a trip? Is it a trip situation? And then he ends up getting the shot.
He gets the penalty shot.
Yeah.
Youngblood wins it.
But then there's still time on the clock, and they still have to do one more face-off.
One more face-off between him and the big bad.
We need to get you out of there. Time's up. He's like, no. I need to get back out there. I got to defend my friend, for my family, for my father who taught me how to beat people in the face, for my brother who taught me with his one eye guidance, who was both in the stands, BT Dubs. And I got to go out there and fight for my friend. I got to go out there and fight the big bad. I got to take my stick and try to poke his eye out.
Does he do the equivalent of the hockey crane kick?
It's definitely the hockey crane kick. I think so.
They have a sword fight with their hockey sticks.
Yeah. I mean, they almost do. I mean, the same thing, slap shot, and you're to assume that that's how the brother lost his eye is some sword fight situation.
Really? I think you have woven a whole story in this
whole backstory. Like, there's this whole other, like, I got the DVD. I'm not like Glenn, who bought it. Because I'm like, I just rented it from Netflix. I'm like, I'll just get this. I got a hard copy from Netflix. And then Glenn's like, hey, what movie do you want to do? I'm like, I'm fucking got Youngblood coming in the mail. Let's fucking do Youngblood. But I'm looking on there. I'm like, there's no special feature. I'm like, if I was going to do a feature, it'd be a backstory about how the brother lost his eye. No special features. No, if people
because we don't know that the brother lost his eye.
That's me. That's how the brother lost his eye.
You are making up a storyline that doesn't exist.
Either way, he couldn't cut it.
So Youngblood ends up beating up the guy, and the crowd celebrates concussions because we don't know what concussions.
It's not America. It's Canada, and they're extra crazy about their hockey.
Well, obviously, the bad guy now probably committed suicide years ago, and that's sad.
No, he gets the girl. He
signs an autograph. He makes it on Sunrise.
And like you get a feeling he meets this other kid earlier. He's like, "Oh, I'm in my league. I got 78 goals or whatever." And he's like, "Oh shit, really? I mean, you're only as good as the next guy behind you. You know, that might be the guy that takes his place."
So, my wife, as I mentioned earlier, she watched the first hour of this bullshit awesome movie, and tonight that was 2 nights ago. She's not asked anything, and she came home right as I was leaving tonight, and she said, "So did you get the girl?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "In the movie." I'm like, "Well, there was some traumatic brain injury. Patrick Swayze may be paralyzed, but yeah, you got the girl."
That's what's important, right?
Well, it's an 80s movie. It's a win. I've never heard of this movie. I've never seen this movie. I actually think I would watch this movie again. In fact, I'm going to make a commitment right now. I will watch this movie every Stanley Cup that the Blackhawks are in.
Okay. I think if they would have cut out maybe like 8 to 10 minutes, it would have been a.
Oh, I agree. I agree. This movie went too long. So as I stated earlier, so I was like, oh, I'll start watching because I have to go pick up Jake. Everyone on the podcast who watches knows Jake. He's your favorite, not us, not the guys who've been slaving away for 260 episodes, but the kid who shows up. Anyway, he gets a lot of fan mail. That's fine. So I was waiting to go pick him up, so she stayed up. She watched the hour. I figured, typical 80s movie. I'll watch the last, 20 minutes, and I'll go to bed. No, it was up like another 50 minutes. It's a very long 80s movie. It's fine. It was great. I loved it.
I'd recommend it. I'd recommend it to others. I think if you like 80s sports movies, you'd like this. It's got all the tropes. It's better than a lot of the stupid other 80s, like same kind of genre. Like,
yeah, Keanu Reeves in his first movie. He's a small part, but it's cool to just see him. Patrick Swayze at the height of his power. Rob Lowe in the beginning of his, midway through his power until he had that unfortunate incident we talked about earlier.
He had a bunch of other like college themed movies as well.
Now it's just the guy who sells me DirecTV.
Yeah. These are the best. I think this movie's definitely better than like Vision Quest, and it's on par with All the Right Moves. So it's if you like those movies, you'd love this movie. Do you have any top 10 this week?
I do, but quickly I want to talk about hockey.
Okay.
The president of NBC made a comment yesterday, and it became very controversial, and I don't think he meant it to be. And this is where I want to talk to. If you are a hockey fan and you're hockey stupid, I want to talk to you. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know. For my top that I was going to talk about the Hawks versus the.
All right, we'll get there.
Okay.
So the president of NBC came out and said that he thinks that playoff beards, which is not people keep saying, it's a hockey tradition. Hockey's been around for 120 years. This has been around since '82. And not completely been around since '82. That's just when it started. Mm-hmm. He said he made a comment that because NBC owns the rights to hockey.
Oh, quick question: is he an old white man?
Well, I'm guessing he's white. I don't know his age. Probably yes.
Okay.
But he made a comment that having the hockey playoff beards diminishes the ability to be marketed to some of these players, and that he wishes they didn't do it. Your stance on that comment?
I think the people that are going to like hockey are going to love the playoff beards, and if they're not on board with that, then they probably wouldn't be on board with hockey itself. To me, it comes in. It's all entire. It's part of the package to me.
Okay. Well, let me disagree with you.
Okay.
And B, try to because that's what you just said is the nominal opinion. That's what everyone is saying. How dare he ruin this tradition? My opinion is this. This is an executive of a network. Obviously, it's NBC, so he doesn't quite know what he's doing. But obviously, he has some sense of what he's doing. All he's saying, he wasn't saying get rid of the playoff beard. And that's how, and I'm not saying you said that because I just sprung this on you. Mm-hmm. But that's what hockey fans have been saying. All he was giving was a marketing perspective. Hey, you know what? If I had my way, I'd want to see these guys' faces because I want products to be able to recognize them. They can make more money selling what they do.
Like there's like Gillette commercials. There's all kind of hockey commercials. You got to see those people's faces. One thing that I'm sick and tired of is like the MLB, the Major League Baseball players with their ironic beards. I'm like, you look like you're in a 70s Southern rock band, like all these people, and it looks fucking gross. You look like you're homeless. Maybe I'm jealous because I can't have a beard, but
you know what? Here's the thing: I can grow a beard whenever I want. Tomorrow,
beard.
I have a facial and a shave scheduled, and I can't wait.
Do they hot towel you first?
Oh, yes.
Glennon likes beauty tips here at theawesomeadies.com.
I feel bad for you because it would take you 4 months to ever be able to grow facial hair, and it would look horrible. To have the enjoyment I get out of just one shave. I love to go get the facial, the shave. You go to a barber, they do it up.
They do a good job.
Yeah. Who are you rooting for in the Stanley Cup playoffs?
The Hawks. I guess for me, but the top of that were these 2015 Stanley Cup championships. It felt like these are better games. Definitely from when they played, the Flyers or Boston. Like these are more heart-wrenching kind of games. Like people are all up in arms a little bit about Crawford and like giving up those pity-pat goals. Like right after we get a goal, they get another goal. But I mean, it just goes to show you that each team is super talented to me.
I mean, I don't know if you know who I would root for, but if you did, do you have anything to symbolize that?
Your heart, like your heart within your chest, your the beauty within you. What are you trying to say?
God, this is why we have pre-show meetings.
The beauty within you. Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
So what do you feel about the playoffs, Glenn?
I don't know. Why don't you play a song and I'll tell you.
Still loading.
Okay. I feel that in 3 times in the entire history of the Stanley Cup.
Go ahead.
I mean, distracted. Please turn that off. I feel it.
There's a lot of stuff in the news about the.
I feel that 3 times in the history of Stanley Cup playoffs have the first 4 games been decided by 1 goal, and not since 1952 until this year. And I hate that because I have horrible acid reflux, and
these games are very anxiety filled. These are anxiety filled.
5, so I'm probably gonna have 2 more heart attacks within the next 10 days.
Well, it felt like when they're in the championships before with the Boston and the Flyers. Like it felt like each game you're like, okay, at some point you're like, I know who's going to win this game, but you don't know that in these games at all. It felt like a lot like the last year the division the Western Conference final between them and the Kings. You're like, I'm on edge this entire fucking I don't know who's going to win. I don't know who's going to win. Like you want the Hawks to win, but that's kind of the way this. I mean, it's a good game, and I don't feel. I mean, especially we talked about Kaner earlier, like. We need some bigger people. God damn it. We need some bigger.
Like Pedro Martinez. When did he blow up?
I mean, is he a big guy?
Yeah, I'm watching him right now.
He got that money. Just eat beans and rice all day. You get big, Glenn.
Dude, he was like, whatever. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway.
There's stuff about the shitty ownership, but there's also stuff about shitty Hawk fans. I get the feeling like there's a lot of urban legend stuff or stuff on the internet now about Hawk fans being kicked out of the Tampa Stadium, but I have a feeling they're the Hawk fans you should kick out.
No. Oh, we will disagree.
You've never met an a-hole Chicago sports fan ever, Glenn?
No, obviously I have.
No one's come down there entitled, like, oh, we're the best fans in the world. You're going to treat us like kings. And I'm going to be an asshole and drunk. And
Okay, listen to me. First of all, you have tattoos
for Chicago sports teams on my person.
Of the best sports team in the history of the world.
Yeah.
Chicago Cubs. But listen, Chicago Cubs have more bandwagon fans than anybody, except for the Chicago bandwagon Hawks fans. Bandwagon is bullshit. Here's the thing. As you get better, you're going to get more fans. Every franchise wants that. So for the Tampa Bay Lightning to come out and say, well, we don't want these bandwagon Chicago Blackhawks fans to come here. You mean the fact that the Chicago Blackhawks were able to grow their brand and reach out to more people?
They were basically nothing. And then all of a sudden, boom. Like they couldn't – I mean, they had half a stadium full. And then all of a sudden –
not even half a stadium. I watched the Hawks growing up under Wirtz, the original owner. They were horrible, and no one went. And I wasn't a fan. It was on Sports Channel.
I guess to me, like for me, it kind of ended like in '92. Like because we had like the Hawks. They made it to the championship and they lost to the Penguins in 4.
Yeah.
And then right after that, there was the year after that. That's when Jordan quit. I'm like, I'm fucking done. You know, it's like
Well, this is all I'm saying, and we have to wrap this up.
Okay.
I hate the term bandwagon for any sports fandom.
Yeah.
Have I been to Wrigley Field over 100 times? Yes. Over 100 of those times, have I sat there and watched people call before the game starts on their phone? Guess where I'm at? Wrigley Field? Absolutely. Those guys aren't there for the game, but they're there for the experience. But when it comes, and I'm fine with that. But when it comes to the Blackhawks, because you're better, more people like you. That's the dream of every franchise.
Yeah.
Every franchise wants to be better, so more people like them. So when cities like Nashville or Tampa come out and say, we don't want these bandwagon Hawks fans here, they're just saying, we're scared of the fan base of this team, and we're so scared that we're going to put it out in public and not want these people to come watch our game.
Well, I'm thinking it also
It's disgusting.
The fear into their fan base and their season ticket holders, like maybe we are shit. Maybe we suck. You know,
They do suck.
Especially like last year watching, like you'd see ESPN, you're like flipping through channels, and you'd see the Kings parade. You're like, that's like a 10th. That's not even a 10th of what the parade would be like in Chicago. You're like, I know what you're saying. Like the better team should win, not the team with the better fans. The better team should always win. But you're like, what the fuck? You know, it means a lot to maybe 10,000 people, you know?
So you and I went to the very last – you went to my third Bulls game, Grant Park experience. We went to the very last one together. Yeah. You going with me to the Hawks one this year?
Well, I went last year or 2 years ago. Okay, I'll bring the baby. And we'll go. I'll bring the baby.
Oh, so you went without me?
Yeah, I went with people from work. It was all right. I wish we would have. Like, we just did for the parade and a little bit of the rally, and then we took off. Man,
do the end. We're ending this.
What I was doing was I'm like, okay, where do I have to stand when the Cubs are on this street? Like, where am I going to stand when the Cubs are in Grant Park? Like,
can we end this podcast?
God damn it. Do you have any one other I want to talk about the Hawks a little bit. There's a hockey documentary.
Son of a bitch.
It's a Road to the NHL. It's the Winter Classic on Netflix. It's originally an Epix documentary. It's got the Hawks and the Capitals. There's 4 episodes. And there's also another one with the Kings and the Sharks, but I've just watched the Hawks one. There's one thing
I'm going to watch it right now if we can end this podcast.
Okay, there's one thing that I thought was awesome. They've got a family day, and one of the other players' kids come over to Kane, and he's like, hey, can you see my hair? He's like growing a mullet, and he goes over to Kane. He's like, you see my mullet? I'm letting it grow out. It's gonna be awesome. He's like 7 or 8 years old. It was pretty awesome. And also 80s amnesia, real quick, from this film. Awesome workout music accessories, giant Walkmans.
Yeah.
Especially, and there's giant headphones, and also the coach's daughter, she had accessories for listening to music in the classroom. And one of the thing, Jesse's Boots, the coach's daughter, she had these giant, like, they were like pirate boots, but they're for ladies. I don't know. It was definitely an 80s throwback for me. 80s
Every
amnesia.
week I just want to punch you in the face.
Did you have any 80s amnesia, Glenn?
No, but I do have a quick top that.
Okay, go ahead.
I've become a 911 truther.
A 90210 truther?
No, 911. I don't want to talk about that, but I have. I watched this movie on documentary Netflix the other day, Supermensch. It's phenomenal. It's directed by Mike Myers. It's about the one of the greatest Hollywood agents of all time. It's a feel-good documentary. It's about an hour 34. It's awesome. And also, the government did 9/11. All right, good night.
God damn it.
Good night.